institutionalized and constantly threatened with insanity, which she then went into Wonderland to fight against. So that first game resolved with her having saved herself from the asylum, and when we started work on Madness Returns, we find Alice about a year later on the streets of London, and well, it's the fire, and the dead parents there on the porch. Alice, save us! We can go to them. Yeah, so she's in London, and this fire, though, is still haunting her. Though she saved herself from madness, she's now having to try to piece together the events of that night, in effect solving a murder mystery of who or what it was that started that fire that killed her family. So, like with the first game, this time around, Alice is going to go into Wonderland and use it as a tool, but this time to collect memories from that night. And also, she's going to use a wide range of weapons and abilities and run into some pretty interesting characters. So we've got familiar ones like the Mad Hatter and the Cheshire Cat, but we've also introduced some new characters to Madness Returns, like teapot cannons and little minions of the Mad Hatter we call Mad Hats. So very interesting character-filled world. And like with the first game, she's going to be using a wide array of weapons and abilities. The first game we had toys as weapons. This time around she's got her classic Warple Blade, but she's also got a couple of new tricks up her sleeve that you guys will be able to check out in the demo over here. What's the next slide? Yeah, that guy's pretty cool. What's the next one? Yeah, so, 10 years in the making. We're very proud to present the game to you guys today. We did announce that the game is going to be coming out on 360, PS3, PC, and it's going to be June 17th here in Australia and the 18th in New Zealand.
Oh, the 16th and 17th.
Oh, 16th and 17th in New Zealand, in Australia and New Zealand. We also just recently announced that when you purchase Madness Returns, you're going to get a free download code which will enable you to play the first Alice on console and PC. So for those of you who never had a chance to play the first one, you're now going to get to see it in all its high-def glory on consoles. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Ken Wong, who is the art director at Spicy and was the art director on Madness Returns, and he's going to tell you a little bit about the magic that went into bringing visuals in the game to life.
Good day, everyone. So my name is Ken Wong. I was the art director on Alice Madness Returns. I'm actually from Adelaide, so I'm really happy to be back in my home country to tell you about all the hard work that our art team's been working on for the past few years. So the original American McGee's Alice was known for its really amazing visual design. Everything from these twisted takes on these well-known characters to these reality-bending environments, and this overall drug-induced aesthetic made it a really compelling experience from beginning to end. So we knew going into the sequel that we had to live up to these expectations and really knock the ball out of the park. So the first thing we thought about is we wanted to go back to some locations in Wonderland and see what had become of them in the years since we last visited them. So, for example, this is the domain of the Mad Hatter, and it's kind of fallen into ruin, and things have changed since Alice has last been here. We also wanted to explore some new areas of Alice's psychic landscape, stuff that we'd never seen in Wonderland before. And so we're really excited to present some new areas in Wonderland. Throughout the design process, we had this general rule that as we designed Wonderland, everything that we saw had to come from Alice's own experiences in the real world. So, whether it's objects or places, she would have nightmares about these things, and that's what has produced Wonderland. So going forth, in terms of inspiration, we often get asked, where do you get the inspiration to design this game? I would say like our primary inspiration was sort of pre-CG fantasy films. Stuff like The Dark Crystal, The Never-Ending Story, The City of Lost Children, stuff that we grew up with. And what we really like about these films is this gritty, dark, tactile aesthetic that, you could feel like you could reach out and touch these things. And it came from the prosthetics and the miniatures and the handmade props and sets. And so, we loved this, and that kind of became sort of the art style of the game. You know, we really embraced this, and we turned to anything handmade for inspiration. So anything from doll houses to jewelry to like preserved animals. You know, all fed into the design of the game. When it came to the design of Alice herself, you know, that was a long, arduous journey, and because, you know, in the first game, it was quite low res, and she looked different from, you know, the box cover to the in-game model. So, you know, we went through dozens of sketches and several 3D models and many meetings and a lot of arguments, trying to figure out, you know, what Alice on the modern graphics chips could look like. And this is the final result, and we're pretty happy with it. You know, happy to have her like this in the game now. Once the original Alice dress, as we called it, you know, came into place, we went through similar journeys, you know, designing her alternate dresses and the weapons and props she uses. So that's all the time that I have today to share with you the art behind Alice Madness Returns. But I hope you guys all check out the game in motion.